This time of year is expensive for many people. Blair Mantin from Sands & Associates is here with some tips to keep you in the black over the holidays. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Now, why is it so difficult for people this time of year?
Well, it's tough. We all get caught up in the emotion of the season. There are people in your life, obviously, you don't want to disappoint them. And sometimes we think the only way to make people happy is to buy a gift. But there are smart ways to go about it, and there are some ways that even don't cost you money.
Okay, that's good to hear. What are some of the most useful tips? I mean, there are a lot of tips, but it's hard for people to actually stick to some of the advice that that the experts give.
Yeah, one that I love is to give gifts with what I call with an added benefit, okay? So ones that I love are through UNICEF or World Vision. They're called Gifts of Magic, and that's where, you'll pay $10 to give a kid a malaria vaccination, or $60 to send a child to school for a year, or $500 to bring water to a village that never had water before. So it's awesome that you're giving a gift that makes the world a better place, and you can trigger a great discussion with kids or with family members. But the extra benefit too, and people don't think about this, is it's actually a charitable deduction. So come March or April, when you're doing your taxes, you're going to get a significant portion of that gift refunded to you from the government. So the government's helping you pay the cost of your Christmas presents.
Excellent. And you know what? It gets away from the whole materialism of the season too.
Indeed, yeah.
And you're giving a gift that's really meaningful and also can save you money. What are some other ideas that you give people?
Yeah, well, I say at this point, if your budget's already been spent, you really need to have a plan B. And a plan B can be a gift that doesn't cost anything. So, in some cases, it's, do it yourself, making a craft. But what I find is excellent for some of us that are DIY challenged like myself is to actually just sit down and the lost art of letter writing. So sit down for some important people in your lives, take an hour, write them a handwritten note, sharing memories, sharing perceptions, sharing what you think about them, all positive things. That'll be a gift that'll be remembered for years, be reread for years. We don't get letters anymore. Take the time to do it for someone in your life. You'll spend no money and you'll give a great gift.
That's a great idea. Now, you deal with people who are struggling with debt. When is the busiest time of year for you guys?
Absolutely, it's January. So we can almost time when the Christmas card bills come in because we know that the call volumes go through the roof. So one thing, over this holiday season is not the time to despair about your debt. There are other things to focus on. But do yourself a favor over the holiday season and just look up 2 words on Google, look up consumer proposal. Regardless of whether you have debt, somebody in your life does have debt, they're going to be stressed out. If you look up consumer proposal, you'll see it's an option that's going to help you get yourself back on track without even having to consider a bankruptcy.
Yeah, we don't want to go down that route, obviously. Nope. Financial resolutions for 2017. What are a couple of good financial resolutions that we can start thinking about now?
One I would say is to really start to keep track of your finances. So the big thing that I see when clients come in the door is sometimes they haven't opened their mail for months. They really have no idea who they owe. And all they do is they look at, I can make the minimum payments each month and that's okay. What I would like people to do is to sit down, just write 2 columns. Here's how much I owe. Here's my monthly payment, and then divide the 2 and figure out exactly how long it's going to take you to get out of debt. If you're looking at something that's multiple years, more than 2, 3, or 4 years, you should sit down with an expert. You should figure out a different way to come at it because the interest is working against you and not for you. And there are ways by working with a licensed trustee, we can stop the interest to get you back on track.
All right, so stick to a budget this holiday season.
Stick to a budget.
Easier said than done, though, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
But write it down, and that you've got it in black and white then.
Yeah, and there's hope in January. You can solve the problem.
All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.